You were waiting for it, not the result. The feeling that comes when Brazil stop looking like a team trying to remember who they are and start looking like a team that never forgot. It arrived against Japan, not in a single moment, in a sequence, in the way the passes started moving with a certainty that had been missing, in the way Vinicius Jr. stopped waiting for the game to come to him and started imposing himself on it, in the way the crowd inside the stadium felt the shift before the analysts could explain it. Brazil looked like Brazil again, and by the end of this video, you will understand exactly what changed and why it matters more than the scoreline suggests. Start with what was wrong before Japan. Brazil's opening matches at 2026 had been defined by hesitation, not lack of talent, hesitation, the kind of collective uncertainty that spreads through a squad when the system has not fully clicked and players are making decisions half a second slower than their ability allows. Individual quality kept appearing in flashes, Vinicius with a moment of brilliance, moments where Brazil reached dangerous positions and then slowed themselves down, Paqueta controlling tempo for stretches and then losing the thread. The pieces were all there, the picture they were supposed to form was not appearing. Against Japan, something unlocked. Sports psychologist Geir Jordet has written about the concept of collective flow in team sport, the moment when individual hesitation dissolves and a group begins operating as a single organism, each player anticipating rather than reacting. Each decision emerging from shared understanding rather than conscious calculation. Brazil found flashes of that flow against Japan. You could see it in the movement patterns. Players arriving into spaces before the ball did, options appearing around the ball carrier before the press could close. And that matters because flow does not replace tactics. It amplifies them. Brazil still needed solutions, but for the first time in this tournament, the decisions looked automatic instead of forced. Now consider what Japan brought to this match. Japan were not passive opponents. They arrived organized, disciplined, and willing to defend deep before accelerating forward the moment possession changed. Their defensive structure asked questions Brazil had struggled to answer earlier in this tournament. Brazil had to actually solve a tactical problem to win this match. They could not rely on individual quality alone, and they solved it. That is significant. Tactical analyst Michael Cox noted before the tournament that the test for Brazil would not come from teams who tried to match them, but from teams who made them think. Japan made them think, and Brazil answered with combinations and movement that suggested Carlo Ancelotti's structure is beginning to take root at exactly the right moment. Here is the counterintuitive part. The win over Japan matters less than how Brazil won it. A narrow victory built on individual moments would have told one story. What actually happened told another. The progressive build-up play in the second half, the defensive structure holding without panic when Japan pressed, the substitutions maintaining rather than disrupting momentum. These are the signs of a team that is no longer performing despite uncertainty, a team that is performing through clarity. And clarity at a World Cup, arriving at this precise moment in the tournament, is everything. Consider the timing. Brazil face only tougher opposition from here. The knockout rounds will demand exactly what Brazil showed against Japan. Tactical intelligence, collective cohesion, the ability to solve a problem as a unit, rather than waiting for one player to solve it alone. Every major contender watching this side will now have to consider a possibility that did not seem realistic a week ago. The team that was supposedly in crisis has found something. Whether they can sustain it across a knockout bracket is the question that nobody can answer yet. But for the first time at this 2026 World Cup, Brazil looked like the team the yellow shirt has always promised. You were waiting for it. Against Japan, it finally arrived.